Welcome everyone to another episode of Your Lab Central. Today I'm joined with Amori. So, Amori, would you like to tell the audience why they should be excited about this conversation?
Absolutely. So, first of all, welcome to the audience to this new episode. This is going to be a freaking amazing episode. Okay, so I'm going to share some stuff about why brands don't invest more into sustainability,
Mhm.
how you can make sustainability actually profitable,
Mhm.
and what they most often get wrong about its communication.
Mhm.
So, I'm going to give you some key insights of what we found works best in terms of sustainability messaging, what why brands aren't investing in more it. And so,
Yeah.
that's going to be an interesting conversation because
Yeah.
just stick around.
So yeah, you've picked up a very hot take, right, Maury? Because yeah, sustainability and then making sustainability profitable is something that's a little tricky these days for businesses itself, right? And obviously, this is the environmental aspect to it, but creating a sustainable business in itself that is going on forever, that is also a different hot take. But the field that you're working in, how to make the environmental sustainability for a business profitable. What's the constant thing that you're seeing that why are people not investing in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there are a few key points, and let's start with, when you look at most brands today, they all know that they need to invest into sustainability because
Mm.
76% of the global consumers they want to buy from responsible brands.
Yeah.
But what they don't right is that they invest into CSR reports, certifications. But me and you, we don't have the time to read a 150-page report, or we cannot understand complex certifications.
Right.
And the consequence of that is that we don't see those brands as responsible. And so they don't get these benefits of um, choosing them over another brand, etc., increase the conversion rate, loyalty, referrals. Uh, so honestly, the best and simplest way I found that to counter this is planting a tree for every product sold. This doesn't work with every industry. Not,
Mhm.
it's mainly into B2C, and if you sell apparel clothes, that's what we do. Um, one tree planted for every product sold. It's universally understood. Me and you, we
Yeah.
know it's good for
Yeah.
the planet. It, if someone tells you, yeah, you can offset your carbon, just pay this extra. You're like, okay, but how does it influence my life? I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on.
Uh-huh.
But if, let's say, there's a baby fashion brand that sells baby clothes,
Mhm.
and in the description there is written, this product plants a tree that grows alongside your child, the parent will be like, wow, okay, this is a sustainable company. They're doing something for me, not
Yeah.
for them or their regulations.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say that.
Now, but you've got a great idea here. It's just that I've heard of another company called Tentree. I don't know if you've heard, right? They say that for every product sold, they plant 10 trees, where the name of the company itself comes from, right? They've been around since 2012. I never had the opportunity to actually buy from them, but I loved how the whole brand was set up, right? Competing to
Absolutely.
very good brands, right? Uh, but how is this actually working out for you? I mean, are you paying somebody else to plant the trees for you, or are you planting them yourselves?
Great question. And you just said there's some key points there about Tentry,
Mm.
like about competition.
Hmm.
That's how they made them stand out. Because
Yeah,
imagine there is this small brand that just starts off and they want to stand out in between the
yeah,
big brands. If they do the same thing as them, they can't. Like they cannot lower their prices. They
yeah,
cannot compete on lowering their prices because the big brands have much bigger infrastructure and they're just going to die. But if they compete on something that's more emotional, a tree planted that grows alongside your child,
yeah.
then they'll stand out, like Sentry, as you just mentioned. So that you work with Sentry,
No,
or
no, no.
you've worked with Sentry?
I
Ah,
just found it
okay.
on Instagram one day. I mean, a few years ago, I found it. They said for every product sold, we plant 10 trees. And then the whole brand's social media was flooded with videos, with experiences, and customers sharing. I checked their website. I mean, looked legit. I don't know how much is happening on the ground, but then at least the value proposition itself was very unique. Now, again,
How did that make you feel? I'm curious.
course, it made me feel great, right? Because if I had the opportunity, obviously it was a Canadian or American company, I'm not sure. So I could not have the budget to basically buy from them. But I love their idea itself. So that was there. But again, if this pans out, right, for somebody who's selling 1,000 products, they're planting close to 100,000 trees, right, for all the products that they've sold. So makes a lot of difference, right?
And 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Really, trees really make a real difference. They are
Hmm.
regenerating ecosystem homes to animals, insects. They purify the air. They're absorbing carbon. Like they are really the cheapest, best way to fight climate change, and the most efficient actually as well.
Yeah.
Um, you said that really well. Yeah. There's a key point I think your audience would find interesting is when I tell people that brands need to get a return on investment from their sustainability, first of
Yeah.
all, they look like, huh? Huh? But then I explain that the objective of a brand is to make money, right?
Yeah.
So if they don't see money coming back from something they invest into, they're going to stop it.
Right.
But if their initiative in sustainability makes more money, then they're going to continue investing it.
Yeah. Now, my question again, I did not get the answer. It missed
Oh,
out.
yeah. Sorry.
Are you paying somebody else to plant the trees for you, or are you doing it yourself? You have a team who goes out planting trees for every product that you're selling.
Yeah, great. I hopefully in the future I'm gonna have myself my own teams, but for the moment we are only the middlemen between the
Oh,
brands and the NGOs, non-profits. So we
okay.
we get the sales from the brands and then transfer the money to the teams. That's it's better actually for them because they know where to plant the trees,
Hmm.
which trees to plant, when, etc. So they are much more professional in terms of ecology than ourselves for the moment. Yeah.
What's the response you're getting from businesses, right? Obviously, the idea, the value proposition is unique that if they sell it to the customer, that, yeah, we plant 1 or 2 trees every time you sell a product. So the customer is obviously enticed, but how are brands actually seeing this idea as against to certification, which is more industry recognized, right? Even if the customer does not recognize it, having a certificate splashed on the website is something more fancy rather than saying that, yeah, we plant 1 tree for every product we sell.
Well, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's true that for the moment brands are more going with the what everyone else is doing. They are
Mhm.
still a bit afraid of innovating and doing something completely contrary to
Mhm.
what most brands do. They do the fancy, they do the recommended. And personally, what I hear, because to give a bit of context to your audience, I'm 18 years old and this initiative has started not so long ago. So I'm putting everything together. And uh, what brands want right now, because I've talked with some of them, is they want the automation behind this. They want it to be automatic, not so that they transfer at each semester the money, but that it automatically goes the widgets on the website, automatically plants the trees, gives the certificate to the client, etc. Does that give you an answer?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, why would somebody want to wait for a month to get a report about how many trees were planted, right? And then paying accordingly, getting a certificate for that. So yeah, that makes sense. On social media, how is the thing working out? Your profile, right? I mean, I checked out. You've got quite a few followers on Instagram, I saw. So what are you talking about on Instagram? Is it specifically just about the environment, or is it something else?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, as you saw, I was building a personal brand. I'm
Hmm.
trying on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram,
Uh-huh.
and it's I think I think me and you we both agree that this is a long-term game.
Yeah.
It's not you have to invest without
Yeah.
seeing results. So
Yeah.
I don't know about you how the podcast is going for you, but it's long term, right?
Yeah, it is very long term. You rightly said that because I mean, yeah, I had checked, but I was not really aware. You're 18. I mean, but again, talking to somebody as young, it's just that we get a different perspective because
Absolutely.
should I call you Gen Z, Gen Alpha? I'm not sure. I'm a little late on those terms. Doesn't really matter because when it comes to business, everybody has that knack, right? Because if you want to get into business and if you want to create sustainable businesses, you have to have a knack for having that purpose and mission to drive you in that direction. So, what do you want to talk about next? You said something about why businesses don't want to invest into this. What's stopping people from doing this? I mean, it's a good idea, right?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I would say it's hmm, what's stopping them?
Yeah.
You know, as humans, and it drives me crazy when we do this, but we still have this inner self that is meh, following the crowd, you know?
Uh-huh.
They just do what everyone else is doing. And often we may miss out on opportunities that exist out there,
Hmm.
but we are like, oh, I need to stick with the crowd. I cannot go. That instinct comes from, well, I'm gonna die alone. But actually,
Yeah.
today, you should be prepared to, even in terms of, friendship, you
Uh-huh.
should be prepared to leave your current team
Mhm.
because you're gonna find a better one. Stuff like that. I'm a bit I went off trail in that, that's true, but yeah, it's because there are not enough brands yet doing it. But the more they're gonna see it, the more then it's gonna just freaking take off, man. Take off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, there's this thing, I mean, with certifications or audits, when a company tries to prove itself as sustainable, they go through a certain process. They call an auditor. They say that yeah, we're going through this checklist. We've got good processes. We've got processes that are not harmful to the environment. It's a good thing, but then the whole problem lies in the fact that yeah, the customer does not see the effect as such. It's just that yeah, we release a little lesser effluence, okay, and it's good for PR per se, but yeah, if there's no actual effect coming out, I don't know. I mean, the perception varies. A lot of people like to say that I'm using a brand that's so green that they have this certification, but yeah, sometimes people like to keep it simple, as you mentioned, right? For every
Mm.
product, we have one tree that's going out. And that's true. Where to next?
Yeah,
What's the next
I,
step?
I like your points.
Hmm.
I like your points that these brands are investing into these certifications, getting these long, expensive audits in order to get, uh, excuse me, in order to get these certifications on the
Yeah.
website, and then other consumers, the people who buy from those brands will be like, well, I buy from this brand and they're certified like this. That is very true. And with those certifications, analyzing all of their chain system and trying to improve that,
Yeah.
it's often only about minimizing harmful impact, not making a positive impact. You
Yeah.
see
That.
what I mean?
Yes. 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 I agree with that. Hmm. Yeah. Because.
Where one tree per product sold really is interesting in terms of sustainability, even just from carbon emitted and carbon reduced from the atmosphere standpoint.
Mhm.
Let's say a baby onesie produces in between. I'm going to get a bit into technical stuff, but it's not going to be too complicated. But a baby onesie produces from the materials to the end, the parents washing it and the landfills, in between 5.3 to 8.5 kilograms of CO2. Okay.
Okay.
Now, one tree over its lifetime can absorb from the atmosphere up to 1 ton of CO2.
Uh-huh. Right.
It's fucking crazy, man. That means if you plant a tree for every product sold, it's not only making a positive impact, but it no, that's exactly what it's doing. I missed the words, Devin. It's really making a positive impact.
Uh-huh.
And baby fashion industry, for example, they sell 25 million clothes every single day. Like imagine if those sales they would plant trees.
25 million
Holy
trees
shit.
every year, right? That makes a lot of,
Holy shit.
yeah. Now, I was about to ask you something related to this. I don't know where I left it. Just your mind goes blank sometimes. But
No worries.
so what I was driving at is, yeah, where to next? What is your long-term vision with this idea? What would you like people doing with this?
I'm going to answer your question, and I'm also curious about your perspective about your
Sure,
podcast,
sure, sure.
if
Of
you want to
course,
share.
of course.
Yeah. Long-term vision is I want to build a technology, a product so good brands never want to stop using it for planting trees
Okay.
because they see so good ROI that it's
Mhm.
just unlogical for them to stop
Mhm.
using it.
Okay, that's an amazing vision, to be very frank. A product that brands want to use and they see that there's a loss of ROI if they don't use it. Uh, but I mean, let's talk about the product itself, right? What will the product be doing? What do you want the
Sorry?
product to do? What do you want the product to do?
Ah, um, I wanted to help turn the harmful industries into regenerative ones. So really help not only the brands get ROI in terms of monetary so that they want to continue using it, so increased average order values, conversion rates, etc. on the e-commerce websites, but also that the trees make a real difference on this planet. So the jobs are created, the ecosystems are restored, and
Yeah.
that once we go to those places, we really feel there has been an improvement in humanity. Honestly, it's a big mission, but I'm on it.
I mean,
So, what about you?
I can give you an idea right there. I mean, if
Sure.
this is just bizarre, right? I mean, rather than just trying to plant a tree randomly, you could plant fruit trees, right? Because yeah, fruit trees will basically not just be a tree; it will basically give you fruits as well. So you could open a fruit orchard and say, "Yeah, you sell a product, I plant a tree here." Win-win for
Exactly,
everybody.
man. You're so freaking right, bro. Like imagine those would plant fruit trees, and that would
Yeah.
also encourage the people who plant them, if it's people that need economic development, etc., to nurture those trees because they know they're gonna get food from it.
Uh-huh. But have you this one problem that that's there, right?
Please.
The nurturing of the tree that's been planted. Okay, so the NGOs that you're working with, right? They plant trees, great, amazing. But do you get to know that are they nurturing those trees? Is somebody looking after the tree that has been planted, or is it just planted and forgotten? Okay, just a seed ball planted and forgotten. Is there something that you
Yeah,
learn about
absolutely.
what? Because that's the more important part, right? The tree cannot just be planted and left alone because it might just die off due to whatever reason, but it has to have water or something that needs to be taken care of. If not year round, at least
Correct. It
in
would be
summer
really
season.
stupid. Sorry?
If not all year round, at least in the summer season, it needs to be taken care of.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Well, it would be pretty useless if the tree would be planted, but we would just plant it and be like, "Oh, inshallah, he lives." It's no, no use. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So, what we prioritize brands that help nurture the trees until independence,
Mhm.
until they feel comfortable that using their own roots, they have brought them down enough into the soil to get their own water.
Yeah.
And often, what's important as well is to not always give them water because always giving them water means their roots will stay at the top instead of go down and get the
All
water
right.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's we make sure the trees survive, or we work with NGOs that make sure the trees survive around the 80% survival rate.
Oh, that's
So that's
great.
pretty
Yeah.
freaking big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but we don't choose brands that are just planted and leave it. just like give us the money and we do the job. I
Mhm.
don't really care. Yeah. Here's
So,
something really interesting about trees.
so random question here. In the so much work that you've done, how many trees have you gotten planted for the brands that you're working with?
Well, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning, but this is like the beginning of the journey. So we are currently putting everything together. This is the
Oh,
mission, the vision. This is what
oh,
the ROI are going to be. We are looking at the other brands that are doing it, etc. So for the moment, except me in my garden, I haven't planted yet trees. But I, it's going to be exponential. That's what I predict. It's invest, invest, invest until ROI. Yeah.
all right. Sounds like a good idea. I mean, I wish you the best in this endeavor, right? Getting brands
Yeah,
onto the
absolutely.
bandwagon that, yeah, we'll get you to plant trees for every product that you sell. Or even more than just one tree, maybe even a bed. That's even better idea, right? Let's see. Hope that works out. Now, where can people get in touch with you if they want to know more about this stuff that you're doing?
Okay, so if you guys want to follow the journey, I'm documenting my way, sharing some videos on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Probably if you type in my name, you
Hmm.
can find me. And if you want to contact me, probably LinkedIn is the better one. You
Hmm.
connect with me, send me a request, and we can organize a call or something. Yeah.
All right. Thank you
Right.
so much, Amori. Thank you for joining me on this episode. It's been great talking to you. We've got a great conversation going
Yeah.
back and forth, right? It was just amazing talking about trees and brands and, yeah,
I agree.
sustainability on the environment, right? So, yeah, thanks for joining in. To the audience, if you like the
Thanks
conversation,
for having me, man. I wish you all the best.
so if the audience like the conversation, they can leave a like. If they want to add to the conversation or have a question, they can leave a comment. It's always open. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe before you close the window. Thanks, Amori, and thanks to the audience for joining in for this episode. Thank you so much.